Welcome to Hickory Street Podcast. We are here with most of we Beasties.
One third.
One third, I guess. You guys have such a big band.
Yeah. It's a fucking real serious problem.
So we're here with Richard, Allie, and Brett? Mm-hmm. Cool.
But he's like
awesome.
not one of the shitty Bretts.
Today,
like not one of the Bretts with like two T's. He's a one T Brett.
I'm a 1-tier.
A 1T Brett.
The two T Bretts are usually really weird guys.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah. They're the guys that play Ultimate Frisbee, right?
Yeah.
They're the guys that created Ultimate.
Dude, do you ever actually call Brett by the wrong name? Like Brett. And then
No. So tired of that.
Well, thanks for coming on to the show.
Thanks for having us.
This is a lot of fun. I actually work with one of the three people here today.
I applied for a job at Fast On, but they wouldn't hire me because I'm a felon.
They hire felons.
I applied.
Well, they might be your work history. They don't like that.
I have a sketchy work history to say the least.
Because they definitely hire felons.
Damn, I have to reapply. Get all sassy with him. I know you'll hire felons. Allie told me.
I know if that works.
You know what's good though is it seems like most places are pretty reasonable, just depending on what the felony was, and I guess how long ago it was.
Bank robbery
too.
on the fucking shit, so it's like.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like. I never had a speeding ticket, but then that shit pops up, and it's like hard to explain away, you know?
No, yeah.
It's all right.
No, it was like this thing. And then,
You know what's fun? I think I actually read an article about that. There was like a Dallas Observer thing or something. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain it a little bit, or are you tired of talking about it?
No, I mean,
A little backstory.
it's a little bit of, what? I mean,
On Richard.
man.
Because it seemed like a kind of a complicated thing from the article.
It was, dude. I mean, it was super. I mean, and it sucks too because it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get dark right off the fucking jump, but I mean, if we're gonna dive into it, I mean, I'll do it. But I mean, I was just in like a super. I was in like the lowest place that I'd ever been at in my life, and like, if I can be frank. I mean, I was like suicidal at the time. I mean, I'm in a fucking punk band and like.
Shit sucks.
I mean, we
sometimes.
were playing huge shows and stuff, but it was just like, just constantly just feeling empty inside and just like not ever really feeling like you belong anywhere, and I'd kind of tried to kill myself a couple of times, and like I just couldn't make myself do it. And I thought that if like I went to a bank and like made like a real big scene, that the cops would show up and shoot me. And so when I did, you know, I just wrote a note and like sent it to the motherfuckers, and like, you know, a few minutes later I start hearing the fucking police sirens coming, and that fucking scared, dude. That really fucking scared.
I bet.
And
that
like,
would scare anybody, I think.
And it was like just the most sobering moment that I had in my life, and like I drove away, dude, just crying, called my dad, told my, you know, I hadn't talked to my dad like in 2 or 3 years, and like just called my dad and told him what I did, and like, you know, it was like the first time in my whole life I felt like my dad gave a fuck about me. And he just said, "Hide your car, boy, I'll be there in an hour." And I did, and he drove down and like grabbed me and fucking scooped me up, took me up to fucking Oklahoma, and was like, "Well, boy, maybe they don't even know it was you, you know?" And he had a buddy who owned a cheap motel up in Oklahoma. So we got under there and had it under like a different name. It was really easy to do all that shit, you know, and we're just gonna chill. And he was like, you know, we'll just chill. You know, he's like, well, just wait. If they don't know it was you, you know, we'll take you back home in a couple days or whatever, you know. And sure enough, dude, like 20 minutes fucking later, dude, like my mom and my dad, who hadn't spoken in like 15 fucking years, like my mom's like lighting up my dad's phone, and he's like, "Boy, your mama don't ever call me." And I was like, fuck, you know, the FBI had kicked down her door.
FBI?
Yeah.
Holy
they got prints.
shit.
They got prints off the fucking note. I didn't even know they could lift prints off paper. I didn't know any of that shit.
Oh wow.
So then they,
So was it a situation where you wrote the note, were there, sent it to him, or like gave it to him, and then just like got freaked out and left? And
yeah, I mean that's ultimately what happened. I mean they had gathered money together and shit. So I mean it was like an actual thing. Feds dropped it, but anyways, like, so I just said, Dad, what do we do? And he said, I'm gonna go buy 2 cases of beer and we're gonna drink all fucking night and hang out, and then tomorrow we'll go turn you in and hopefully they go easy on you. And you know what, dude? That's the first and only time that I got to just hang out with my dad and just drink beer and just fucking shoot the shit and talk.
Wow.
And dude, when I look back on it, I mean, I had to go through all kinds of fucking bullshit. I had to go to prison over the fucking shit. I mean, I had to go through all kinds of bullshit over the deal, but it was like, when I look back on it, though, it was absolutely fucking worth it just to have that fucking time with I'd do it all fucking over again.
I think you came out of that strong.
Yeah, I mean, I came out of it different. I learned a lot about life and I learned a lot of different things, but it's funny because people do bring it up, but it's like...
Mainly because of the article, I bet.
Yeah. I mean... Well, Jeff Gage wrote that. That dude's a cool dude. He wrote that, and like now he writes for Rolling Stone.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was gonna say that name sounds familiar.
That was his fucking launching pad to get to fucking Rolling Stone. Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's cool. he thanked me like a lot for like, because I was just open and honest about the whole fucking thing. I mean, most times when shit like that goes down, somebody would just kind of like, you only get like kind of part of the story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that was a long article for what it was.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was like fucking 9 pages or some shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was pretty trippy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a trip, and it was so fucking. It's weird. Yeah, I mean, it's like just part of my life, but it's cool though. Like, if I hadn't had like my band and shit like around me, like that would have been infinitely more difficult. Because at least I had an outlet.
Right.
Right before you were doing the show at J&J's, and then they came in.
Yeah, because they nabbed me when I was trying to get on stage.
Like right before he was about
to go on stage, and all I saw was so they didn't get to play. That was before me and Brett were in.
Oh, and all I saw was a phone video on Facebook, and they were like putting, I think it was Ed Steele, like doing the.
Yeah, that was so funny. That was so weird, at least, because they initially put me on probation for quite a while, and like.
So this was after the fact.
This was after the actual thing happened. But then I absconded for probation. I mean, there's a whole story that goes into that. I don't really want to get into it. It was just it's a really long story. But it was one of those things where it was like, like I'd been on the run from the law for like 8 months by that point. With like a fucking blue warrant. Like anywhere I got pulled over in the United States, it was like arrest him immediately. It was like so it was like, I mean, I couldn't even stay in an apartment. I had to have burner phones. I'd rent like fucking rehearsal spaces at like studios and shit and just stand there.
Oh wow!
For like a few weeks.
Were off the grid.
Oh, totally off the grid. But then like we got booked at 35, and I was like, well, I ain't missing that fucking show, So like I can go get ready to play this festival, and I go to check in, and I had a couple people who aren't friends of mine who like knew that I was playing and like called the fucking.
Yeah, they knew what was happening.
Called the fucking marshals on me. Yeah, we're just like, hey, he's gonna be over here. So like, I'm trying to walk on stage to play and get arrested. It's Then he took that video and he sold it to the Observer for $250. And then immediately took that $250 and stuck it on my books in jail so I could have like food and paper and shit and all kinds of stuff to write.
I love it still.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He still shows up to our shows. And he's such a great photographer.
Yeah, super awesome dude. Yeah, great photographer. Super awesome dude. That dude's my homeboy.
Well, at least you made it out of it. Is your relationship with your dad a little bit better now since then?
Yeah, it was weird, like, because one of the prison farms I was on, like, was in Bonham at the mic a little closer. The fucking the Buster Coal unit. So like in Bonham is like 20 minutes away from fucking Sherman, which where my dad lives.
Oh, I know where.
Yeah, so I was born there. So he'd like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he'd just come visit me like pretty regularly. Actually, I saw my dad more while I was in prison than I saw him like growing up. It's really weird. So yeah, the relationship got a lot better. I'm actually going to go see him this weekend. It's his birthday party this weekend.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
So, Allie, you're from Clarksville, so you're from Sherman. Where are you from, Brent?
I'm from Pearland, Texas, which is 30 minutes south of Houston.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up in between Houston and Galveston until about when I was 20. I moved up here in 2005 and did the music program, got my composition degree at UNT.
Oh, nice.
Goddamn, Brett, I never even knew that. We've been in a band.
Yeah.
It's a bachelor's.
That's all I do, man. if I did, when I don't have to work a regular job, shut up. When I don't have to work a regular job, all I'm doing is music. Like at the beginning of this whole pandemic thing, like I got the tear and was just like writing and playing and practicing like every day. So like that's like what I do.
How long ago did you get your degree?
It took about. I graduated in summer of 2008.
Oh,
so
okay. So you've been in Denton since then? Mm-hmm. Really? Nice.
About 15
what were you
years
gonna say, Allie? Sorry.
I was gonna say when I met Brett, which was almost 3 years ago now, that he had been doing music as his profession for a solid 3 years, not doing any other job, so making a living on music for that long.
Wow,
so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is impressive.
God damn,
for sure. So did you like write songs for other people then for a while?
Mainly for my bands and then like for myself, but like getting out there now and like doing session work.
So that's why Puddin' played so fucking often.
Usually,
I was always wondering about that,
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the bass player for Puddin' Tane.
Lots of bands like they like to space out their gigs, but I'm like, let's play like every weekend.
I like to, with we Beasties,
time.
I like to. We're like Under the Giant. You can't just show us every night.
Oh yeah,
we lose our luster,
dude. Exactly. I totally get that.
Not something you want to see every day.
It's a very special occasion.
It's a lot of nipple.
And other things.
Shit. Yeah, that's to say the least.
So have you played in punk bands for like
all kinds of stuff?
Really?
Lots of funky stuff.
I didn't know he was gonna be a punk rocker when he started
stuff.
fucking playing, dude. Like, cause I was like, I figured, you know, like whenever I don't know.
He doesn't really look like one.
No, yeah, I think
exactly.
you do. You look like one from the '80s.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's my steez.
Yeah, I remember just like being so like stoked about like, hey guys, Brett Crow's gonna play for us. I remember when I first, because Robert Hokamp had just left. You know, we were trying to get some new people in the band, and like, I remember Robert Hokamp being like, who's one of the dudes I really look up to, like musically, and he was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, get that guy, like get him." You know, it's like, fuck yeah, dude.
That's a big compliment.
Yeah, I was like,
he plays for Brave Combo. He plays guitar for Brave Combo. Robert Hokamp.
Oh, I've heard.
And he also used to play trumpet for.
He played trumpet for us. I didn't know he played guitar at first. Like he played trumpet for us, and it turns out he was like this fucking
he rips.
Genius guitar player.
So
really?
We were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got it. I went to his master's recital back several years ago
at UNT,
and it was sold out.
Yeah.
There was standing room only. People standing out in the fucking halls, dude.
And it was just
insane.
him?
And I've been to a couple master's recitals too where it was just like the kid and like the professor and like his parents.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he sold out this fucking hall. It was insane.
Wow.
And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Kids are fucking genius. Everybody in that fucking family. Everybody in that whole family pisses me off. They're all genius at instruments. They don't even mean to be. Chris is like a genius.
I guess I'll play.
Yeah, it's like, well, whatever.
So he plays trumpet, guitar, and what else does he play?
Probably most
anything that has a string on it, he can play. Sick banjo player, amazing bass player. Actually, he's a hell of a vibraphone player, which is crazy to me. But yeah, git fiddle, fucking shit. That shit was weird. I mean, I was like, just stick strings on stuff, and he just was amazing at it. But yeah, he was a trumpet player for us, and like, it's just pretty sick, dude. Dude's great. He lives out in LA now. He's awesome.
Oh, he moved away?
Yeah, he moved away. He's out in LA teaching music and shit. His wife's a fucking badass flautist, which is not somebody I found out who makes flautas. It's somebody who plays
a flautist.
She's a genius flauta maker.
She's delicious.
That's funny.
Got kids and shit. Yeah, he's like doing great.
No word, man.
Comes back for Brave Combo shows every once in a while. Like they'll like fly him out and stuff. If we ever get like a big gig, like we'll like sometimes he'll come back in town and we'll try to like if we know in advance, we'll be like, oh, we'll try to get a show just to do that.
Just get it lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played with us at Andy's.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I don't remember when that was exactly, but it was sometime last year.
Yeah. Goddamn, remember that fucking... I remember with this last New Year's, we played that New Year's show, and Brett was in all 3 of the fucking bands.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he's in Star Party, too.
He, like, literally didn't...
Oh, you're in Star Party?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He didn't move his bass amp for, like, 4 hours.
That's the way I roll.
Just, like, literally, like... Do I have the mask on with this band, or do I have a mask on? Like,
yeah, I mean, Matt did the same thing.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
Matt, our saxophone player, is also in Puddintain and in Star Party as well. So he's
Oh, okay.
He's
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of the bands in Denton like tend to be really incestuous. I've noticed. Like,
Yeah.
you could draw like a fucking like a spider web of like. Well, that guy's in this band, but he's in a band with that guy who's in this band and that guy.
And there's 2 drummers in 50 bands.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's not enough drummers
Basically.
anywhere.
There's like 30 lighters, like in Denton. You know, like no one ever. Like you just go to the bar.
That's pretty much
And it's like that way with drummers too. it's like 4 drummers that just like you could literally shoot 2 drummers and the entire music scene would die.
Oh, you know what? I think I've seen a meme like that.
Yeah, it's totally true.
Look out for the drummers. We need them.
It's so funny. So when did We Beasties like start? Because you guys have been around for quite a while.
Bro, no shit. This is 2020. This is our 20th year. Our first show
Wow.
was December of 2000. About 6 blocks from here, over at what's now Oriental Garden. Before then, it was Eagle Burrito. But before then, it was a place called the Rib Shack, and they had 25-cent beer night. And I remember I was 25-cent beer night. No shit.
Oh
20 years ago.
It was 20 years ago.
That makes total sense.
But I mean, you can take a roll of quarters and get everybody fucked up, dude. It's crazy. So like, I remember. I think I was. So this has been 2000. So I'd been.
You're my age, so you'd be like 15, 16.
16. Yeah, right around there. And then I remember.
Wait, so you were 15?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And so like I remember. There was a band around here called Kid Chaos, and those guys ended up starting another band called the Riverboat Gamblers. And like,
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're great. They're
First
amazing.
band I saw when I moved to Denton in 2004.
Oh, just amazing. And Mike Wiebe, their singer, he was kind of like my mentor, I guess. I remember telling him, I was like, man, I want to get a show for my band, but I don't really know how to do it. And I remember him telling me, he was like, first and foremost, when you call a club, don't ever tell them that you're in the band. Tell them that you manage the band. And he said, the first question out of your mouth to the booker should be, how many people can this place hold? Like, what is your capacity? How many people can we put in here? Because if they're thinking that you're worried about capacity, they're immediately going to want to book you. So I was like, okay. So I mean, this place had like a 50-person capacity, but I called and I'm like 14. I'm
Shaky
like,
voice.
I'm like trying to make my like voice sound like deeper. I was like, I was like, how many people can your place hold? You know, I have this band. I manage this band that I want to have play up here. They were like, what night do you want? I got like a Friday night. And they kind of got pissed because
About 10 people.
there was like 100 people outside that couldn't get in, but they were all 14 and 15 years old. So they were so bummed. And they were like, well, it was like a $5 cover. So they were like, if you split the door with this, we'll call it even. I was like, and we'll give you another show. And I was like, fuck yeah.
So they ended up letting them in?
Yeah, they let everybody play. They charged $5 at the door, which is a lot of money for a show back then, a local show.
Yeah, I guess so.
I remember, I mean, we were playing shows for a while, you know, we're really young, you know, like, seriously, the door would be $2, you know, $2 at the door. You know, I remember, like, when we started playing shows where it was, like, $10 at the door, like, my mind was, like, fucking blown. I was like, what, $10? You know what I mean?
No one's going to come to that.
I couldn't believe it. You know, it's like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, we've been playing for, like, ever. I've seen this, I mean, you know, it's like, you keep the same haircut for long enough, man, it'll come in and out of style, dude. That's pretty much what I've been doing.
Was it always called We Beasties? Or
Yeah, it was called, yeah.
What was the idea behind the name?
I have a bunch of different stories that I tell, but the actual truthful one is, when I was in high school, there was a band that I hated that was in my high school. They were called Citizen Blue. And they were just, you know, like those, like, just, you know, whenever you, like, first start playing, you just bump into those, like, pretentious fucks who just, like Yeah, we're so badass. We're like Tool. You know, we're like,
yeah, just something.
They were kind of like, you know, they were like one of those pretentious bands. And I remember hearing the bass player one time, this chick bass player they had, and she was like, I'm going to start a band, an old chick band called the Wee Beasties. And I like literally just stole the name simply so that she could, out of spite. Like, I started a band that week with no real intentions except for I'm going to take this name so that she can't have it. You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck this band, you know? And then
20 years later.
20 years later.
That's funny.
So, a lot of people rotate in and out, but I mean, y'all have a staple 3 people that have been in it from the beginning too.
No, I'm the only original member.
You're the only original?
Yeah.
But like,
Isn't that crazy?
Tomo and Matt Cole
Tomo joined
pretty early in the...
Tomo joined in 07.
Okay. That's
still pretty, yes. That's a long time. He's been dead for 13 years. So
he's probably the
Matt joined in like 02. So it was still, yeah, because it was like a package deal because Matt was in a band with Chris and Robert Hokamp. I wanted Robert Hokamp to join the band, and so like it was like a package deal. It was like, well, if you want Robert, you gotta get Chris and you gotta get Matt. And we're like, I was like, what does Matt do? And he's like, I think he plays guitar. We're like, all right, you're a guitar player. Like, you know, it's like, and I remember telling Matt because he was like, I never played punk before. Like, what do I do? And I was like, only strum down. So I was like, strumming up and down is cheating, man. Just strum down as fast as you can. And if you watch it today, that's still pretty much how he plays.
He also the rhythm guitar player.
So like, I got that for the Misfits because you listen to those records. Yeah, it was like the first thing I did was like, they're only strumming down the whole time. You know, watch videos. They only Ramones were that way, and I was like, that's how you play punk or guitar, only strum down.
That's the staple.
Yeah. So so he's been in for a long time. I started it with, the whole band started with me, and it was a 3-piece originally. We didn't add horns till later, but I just wanted to be bigger and louder than everybody. And I also wanted it to be like we're kind of like a gang almost, you know what I mean? I want it to be like, when we go to shows, like, you don't want to fuck with this band because there's 10 of them. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
and we make it to where, like, if we're opening, like, everybody wants to hate after we're done playing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's my favorite. That's kind of a prima donna thing, but it is absolutely true. I love playing. I love playing, and there's like a band playing after us that's so pretentious, and like we'll play, and then everybody's like like leaves. Like, it's awesome. And they're like, what? But we're the cool. It's like, yeah, clearly.
Let's do our thing, man.
But also, man, if you're opening for we played with that Oakley Dokley, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I remember one thing that made that show work is we were opening, and there was Playboy Man Baby was in between us.
Yeah.
And I remember what was cool was that like we pushed it so fucking hard, like as an opening band.
It hyped everybody.
It was
push hard.
Exactly. It made the whole show like so much better, you know.
You gotta set the bar high. You don't want a limbo. You want a pole vault.
Yeah,
There were so many people at that show. I mean, though it's like people.
You couldn't even breathe.
Person to person, all the way out the back of the. It was at 3 Links, right?
Yeah,
it was at 3 Links, all the way out the back into.
That's like my favorite club.
It was awesome.
Fun. I didn't realize Playboy Man Baby played that show. Allie was telling me about that at work. I didn't realize that they were on that show.
Yeah,
they're actually.
I only saw them for the first time at Andy's a while back.
Yeah, I saw they were coming through. I wanted to go and see them. But,
it was like a week. It was like a Sunday night or something, so there wasn't many people there.
Man, they really pushed it hard too at that show. It was great. Like they, I remember when I went upstairs to Scott's office to like get the fucking. He was like, "Do you want a check or cash?" Like, there's 10 of us. I want to split up a fucking check. Give me cash. Yeah. You know, and he was like, "Okay." And I remember they were all up there, and they were like, "Dude, thanks for going so fucking hard because we've been stuck with all these fucking." Like math rock bands like opening for us that nobody gave a fuck about, you know. But when y'all went really hard, it made them go hard, then it made us go really hard. And I was like, yeah, dude, fuck, that's the way you do it, you know. And so I remember thinking that was cool. They tried to get us to
sorry, my
come play some shows.
Walking over shit.
Oh, it's okay.
He just wants to be part of the show.
That's the cutest little fader I've ever seen you eat.
Yeah. He's a big baby. So, what would you guys say is your most memorable show thus far with the band?
With this current lineup that we got?
Yeah, with the current lineup.
At Oakley Dokley.
That probably was the
Maybe
best
that
New
was-
Year's Eve
Oh,
or the New Year's Eve show. Or what do you think, Richard?
Dude, fucking the drift out there.
That was good.
That was a nightmare show in a lot of ways, but okay, we played this fucking. I don't know how the fuck we got.
It was
booked.
Tomo.
Because he's into the car racing and stuff. So
Tokyo
we got,
Drifter.
yeah, so we got
He
on
likes
this
to do the
drifting
car
show.
drifting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Wait,
these dudes
so there
booked us out in Mineral Wells, dude, and we were like. Mineral fucking Wells, like what? And it wasn't even like it wasn't even like proper Mineral Wells. It was like outside
in the middle of nowhere.
Airport.
It was an abandoned airport. It was basically an abandoned.
It was like
fucking
the last
airport.
thing that they were going to have at this airport.
And they had this drifting event, and I remember the guy was like, Aaron, who was the guy who ran it. He was like, "Yeah, how much do you guys need?" And we were like, $800 or something. I mean, I showed him something that I didn't think he was going to do at first.
Well, that was like
I would have asked for fucking more if I didn't, you know what I mean? But I was like, $800, $100. You know, he's like, okay, cool. And I was like, what? I was like, all right. You know, I was like, okay,
That
cool.
was definitely the
That
best
was the
paid
negotiation.
show.
and not a butt.
And then I remember Hagen being fucking freaked out when he got out there because our drummer our drummer at the time, he got out there and like it was a trip because I remember like they passed out 2,000 Jello shots. Like,
oh my god!
During our show, and there was only like maybe 300 or 400 fucking people there. Total.
Everybody was in these weird onesies.
There was so many people.
It was like a onesie party. And then
It was
they
they
started
were
going half
so
onesie.
drunk
And like-
because they had been there all day
They were
racing
doing
cars.
keg
And we
stands.
show up after dark.
Oh my god!
I mean, shooting off fireworks indiscriminately, like
And hardcore moshing on concrete, like
Yeah.
straight.
They pulled
gravel
this big
shit.
trailer out, and we set up on this trailer.
Horns
The horns
were
are
up
up on
top.
top.
So you guys were playing on top of a trailer?
All the
no, just the horns, yeah.
Just the horns were on top, and everybody else was down.
Some
at the bottom.
kids, some like spray paint artists, like had made us this giant backdrop. Like it was like
It
the
was
fucking
really cool.
Beatles were coming to Mineral Wells. It was
Sounds-
insane. Like,
and there's a cool video that you can find on YouTube.
dude, it was fucking insane. And like I had this brand new girlfriend at the time who was real hardcore Christian, and I think I took years off of her fucking life. Just by,
Like,
like,
so nice. I was like, how did
she
you
was so polite. Yeah, she was like so polite. Like the second event we went to was a goddamn Trump rally, which I don't even like. I took her there as a date. She was like, "Can we go see Donald Trump? He's going to be an American Airlines Center." I was like,
What?
"Yeah, oh, yeah,
No way.
yeah." And I was like, sure." I was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
That's
It
hilarious.
was cool just hanging out with lunatics, but not that cool. But, like,
That's
but
hilarious.
it was. She was so freaked out and like, oh my god, dude, yeah, and it was just. Dude, just drugs
That
and alcohol
sounds like a
everywhere.
lot of
It was
fun.
fucking nuts, dude. And then the second I got there, I mean, I'm like, I got a beer in my hand. The second I get there, they're like, "Hey, hop in my car, let's go drift." I never drifted in my whole fucking life, and it was like, dude, going like 100 miles an hour sideways in a fucking vehicle, like inches away from another car. I mean, like, bro, my dick was inside my body. It was like, tell them we're not here. Like, I was so scared. Like, it was fucking nuts. But I mean, it was awesome.
So you were just doing that on the like the runway?
Yeah, I was just doing that just for the fuck of it. Like
The
before,
planes.
this is like hours
Yeah, it's like
before.
a closed down airport, right?
Yeah,
and so
it
it's
was
like
runway.
all
It was
the
just a big
concrete.
It's
out
probably
there.
just a private airport or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had been. I mean, who flies to fucking Mineral Wells? Let's
Yeah.
be honest. Gotta get to Mineral Wells for this important meeting. Let me tell you, there's no mineral in fucking wells down there, dude. Just methamphetamine. Methamphetamine wells.
Just about
Yeah, there's one of that there probably.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But I think the Oakley Dokley one was probably the most professional one that we played.
Yeah, that was.
That one was great too because, like, I remember telling Brett, I was like, hey, I want to come out of the gates really, really hot, like the second we start playing. So during our sound check, because we're sound checking, there's like fucking everybody already there. I was like, just be so sedate and so docile, like while we're sound checking. So we're sound checking, and I'm like sitting on the stage, like wow, 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 like checking the mic. So people are like, what kind? Nobody's there to see us. A few people were, but
So they were like,
bulk of
who
everybody.
is this?
And it was like. So everybody's thinking that we're gonna be like this really sedate band. Plus we have the horns. They're like, is this like a jazz band? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then so like, but then the second week it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like right out of the gate and like throwing beer fucking everywhere. You know, it's fucking insane. Like people are like screaming. I mean, it's fucking nuts. I just love that shit.
Oh man.
Give them something they don't expect, because that's the thing. I mean, my whole real thing with We Beasties was like, dude, no matter how good your band is, you're gonna play at the fucking band that night that's 10 times better than you're ever gonna fucking be. But if you're the craziest fucking thing that happened that night, people could give a fuck, because they'll leave like they won't know what fucking song got played, but they're like, God damn, do you remember when that band was like spilling beer all over everybody in the broke glass?
So you got down to his underwear.
Yeah, it's like, what
beer
the
in my
fuck?
mouth.
Yeah, what the fuck is happening?
Beer in everyone's.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is happening? So
It's about the experience.
yeah, for sure. I mean, the show is definitely that. Like, we don't play now. He's playing a fucking record, dude. But like at a show, it's all. I mean, I wouldn't say it's all energy, but a little bit of energy goes a whole hell of a long
On
way.
a quote unquote good night, our set is 35 minutes.
Yeah.
At our fastest, it's like 29.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Our full length record is like 13 tracks. It's 24 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
super
punk.
fast.
That's punk for you.
Well, I mean, you know, leave them wanting more. I want somebody to repeat the song and not get tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good. So most of the songs are like what, 2 minutes long?
Yeah.
roughly?
That's a standard. A minute and a half to 2 minutes should be like standard length for a song. I mean, we're not like anal cunt or anything. You know, like fucking 8-second song for fucking songs. But
So, Brett, you do a lot of the writing for
this new stuff, I've
Yeah.
been doing a lot. I wrote like 7 songs. Richard's written a few.
dude, yeah, Brett's churning it out, fucking hardcore, man. It's sick, dude.
That's just like over Christmas break. Richard was like, "Do we need to work on this out? We gotta get something out." Okay, so I went. I went home to my parents. I woke up.
Like 5 songs in my goddamn mailbox.
I woke up one morning like I had this like whole song in my head. Like I have to record this, and like went and did it. Did another one with that Whose Line song. Wrote that one like the same time.
Dude, we wrote a song about cocaine called "Whose Line Is It Anyway?"
Great, that's great.
I've already played a couple of them.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
funny.
Brett totally. I mean, I've told you this, you know, so it's no secret. I was just so goddamn floored when I heard that shit. Because I mean, I know you can play, but you know, playing and writing are 2 totally different fucking things. You know,
Yeah.
like I can write, but I can't play. You know what I mean? Like so, but it was just one of those things where I was like fucking blown away. And you can. He left pockets and stuff where you could just there's like an implied melody and things. You know, you could like hear where stuff went. Like, God damn, dude. You know, I was just. It was obvious you knew what the fuck
It's
you were
like
doing.
he intentionally left spots for like horns and
Yeah.
spots for like us all to yell together and
Like on
you
Blood
can
Oath
hear
and
it.
Beer. Yeah, like on
Yeah.
Blood Oath and Beer. You can almost hear that horn part just on the dry shit without like it's so weird because he doesn't play that, but you can hear that.
Yeah, you were
that's-
already hearing that whenever I showed it.
Yeah, and I was like, God damn, dude. Yeah, that's.
Nice.
It makes things a lot easier too, because like previously I'd written like 99% of everything, and like, but
Yeah,
it was so slow going though, you know.
When they wrote
like-
that last album, Kill Them, they got snowed in at the studio. Right?
Yeah.
So they were just like hammering it out.
You
Yeah,
got
we got
snowed in at
snowed-
a studio?
Yeah, check it out.
That was
dude.
convenient.
I had a key to the Dallas Sound Lab because I was working on the Dallas Sound Lab at the time, and like, we were just gonna have a session, like a little 2 or 3 hour session, just to kind of get some raw tracks out, and like the whole band showed up, and thankfully it seemed like everybody brought a bottle of whiskey, you know. So we were all like kicking it, and like we started recording for like an hour or 2 hours, and we were just kind of really getting level set and everything. You know, everything's like ready to go. I wanted to track it as live as possible, and we go outside to smoke a cigarette. There's like 3 inches of snow already on the ground. We're like, what the fuck? And you know,
That
it
was
was
when
like,
that snowpocalypse happened in Denver. I
Yeah.
don't know how long you've been in Denver, but it was like when ice covered everything.
It was like what,
Right.
2015 or something?
14 or
2000.
yeah, but yeah, a little bit before then, yeah. It was fucking, yeah, it was nuts. And we were like, and then so I called the fucking studio managers, like, so what's the deal? They're like, yeah, we're canceling everything for tomorrow. I was like, you guys just want to fucking stay here and get high and drunk as fuck and just finish this record? It was like yeah, absolutely. You know, like,
Nice.
yeah, it was great, dude.
That was a
I think the fucking what do you call it? What do you call it when you fucking commit a crime and you can't tell somebody for so long? Statute of limitations.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I think the statute of limitations passed. We definitely broke that console like towards like the last like 10 minutes of it. That DM2000. We broke every fucking light on it. We didn't mean to though, but yeah, we couldn't figure something out, and then I can't remember who punched the console, but somebody like literally just punched the console, and every light just shut out, and we were like, I guess we're gonna be doing this recording session now. Like, and then wrap it up. We went to the fucking video room and like wiped the fucking video of that happening.
Did you really?
Yeah, totally. I've never told anybody that story, but yeah.
We're probably good now.
Yeah, we're good now. That place,
they've replaced it.
Yeah. But at the time,
what year was that? What was it?
God, 12 maybe.
I think the copyright on it was 12.
Yeah, 2012, yeah. So it was quite a while back when we did that. That's the full length, and that was fucking... Yeah, but that, I mean...
So you started the band 20 years ago. That means you're like, what, 35 now? 34?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 35. I'm still a punk rocker. That doesn't mean anything. I'm still cool, right?
Well, I mean, all of us in your band are about the same age.
Yeah,
so
it's true. Yeah.
You're cool to me.
God, I used to... It's that aspect to me has been weird because, like I'm saying, when we first started, we were just like the youngsters, like... I remember when we'd play shows over here at Mabel Peabody's. Mabel Peabody's isn't even around anymore. We play shows over there, and like TABC laws back then, if you were under... It's so weird.
They were one of the only places that you could be 18.
Yeah, if you were 18,
under
you could
21,
go.
You could still get in.
If you were under 18, though, the TBC law was that you had to be admitted before 9 o'clock. You couldn't be admitted after 9 o'clock.
That's how
I remember that.
was.
I remember how that
but
was.
you couldn't leave.
Could go in.
You couldn't leave and come back.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, they had punk shows there on fucking punk shows there,
They
and
want
like
you to leave and go get drunk somewhere else and come back in. But if you were there by 9 or before, then you could stay. Stay and watch the show and everything.
That makes sense.
But I mean, having my mom drop me off at a fucking gay bar, when I'm like 16 years old, well, my punk band's not gonna play till midnight. You know what I mean? Like, so she's gonna drop me off before 9. And my mom was so conservative, like, okay, have fun, sweetie. Like,
get you a lunch.
He's like chilling, But I mean, it's so weird. If I hadn't had a lot of those experiences, just being raised like by conservative parents, like, I probably wouldn't, because that was one of the, I remember being really young and playing like gay pride things, like, and this is way before. Like, it was like completely, it's weird that's only not that fucking far ago.
It was only legal like 5 years ago.
But I remember like passing out flyers like in school, like, hey, come check us out, They'd be like, at a gay bar, and you're like, you don't get it, it's cool, like, it's like really awesome. Everybody's I don't want to get raped, and you're like, I don't think you know what a gay bar is. Like, it's like, what I mean? So it's like...
It's misconceptions all around.
In a lot of ways, being in a punk band, like, totally opened my eyes to a lot of shit earlier on that I probably wouldn't have had my eyes open until much later. You know what I mean? So it's been like a real big... I mean, I've got to have so many cool experiences, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Like, meet so many cool fucking people that you otherwise wouldn't have, and like that's just
that's what I really like about.
You can't pay for that, you know what I mean? Like,
that's what I really like about being a musician and being a part of the music scene is that you come across people that you would not have met otherwise.
Oh, absolutely.
You get a lot of opportunities that some other.
And
types of people.
In a way, it feels like you get to live a little bit more. Like, people don't come out of their apartments anymore. They don't get out of their house. Some people don't even move out of their parents' house anymore. And
for sure.
And that's like sort of weird, especially now. That I'm in my 20s. Like, I look around and like some of my friends from high school are just like still doing the same old thing, living at mom and dad's, and they don't ever go out and do anything, and it's kind of sad.
That's why I was really thankful to come up to Denton for school and seeing like how the environment and like living situation is up here, because that really got me to be more on my own in itself, and the music scene around, like meeting new people, meeting musicians, getting to jam with people, getting to like write with new people, meeting people all the time, like living down the road and like, oh, there's this guy and he plays this, and there's an artist over here, this guy makes pottery over here, and like
you can walk down the street and bump into fucking people here.
And
it's like a mini Austin.
Denton's absolutely the perfect
really
place to do
is.
that. I mean, there
for sure.
are so many musicians and artists here.
Imagine you'd stayed in fucking East Texas, or I'd stayed in goddamn Sherman.
No.
I'd be working at a fucking Sitco.
I couldn't stay there. I was miserable. But on that note, I know of some people that I went to high school with that are in that same boat, that still live with their parents or are still doing the same thing. And I'm 34 years old. I mean, I'm so glad I got out of there when I did and made more of myself.
Yeah, I mean,
stayed and did the family business.
There's Texas is so big, but I didn't come from a small town or anything, but I imagine that if you are from a small town in Texas, it's really hard to get away. Or at least the options that are available to you are somewhat limited. You
definitely gotta want it.
Well, also your mindset.
You gotta want it for yourself.
It depends on how big your dreams are.
Well, also your mindset too is like a lot of people don't even recognize that there's other things even out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
they just get stuck into that environment and think that that's all there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like why would you even go want to look for something if you don't even think there's anything out there?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So what brought you to Denton?
My parents got divorced. I hated it when I came here. I was 10 years old. Yeah, because I mean the house I grew up in, my great grandfather had built after the Civil War. Everybody that I knew in fucking Denison, Texas. I was born in Sherman, but I grew up in Denison. Everybody that I knew there their parents had been friends with my parents. Their grandparents are friends with my grandparents. I mean, we'd been there for
very
fucking
tight-knit
ever.
community.
Totally tight-knit. Yeah. So then when I came to Denton, I was like, "Fuck this place!" I was so pissed off. I hated everybody. Yeah. I didn't know anybody. And I had a thick Texas accent. From being up there, and like, I would sit. Remember that fucking. Remember when Home Alone 2 came out and they had that goddamn Talk Boy? I would record people made so much fun of my goddamn Texas drawl that I'd record myself and listen to it and then be like, fuck, and then
try to tone it down.
Try to figure out how to make it different, to make it like not as bad. And then and then it took me a couple years, and all of a sudden it was like, God damn, there's art and music everywhere. Like, what the fuck, I remember like just going down Fry Street and like what the fuck? There's a record store? Like, we didn't even have a record store like down. Sure. I was like, what the fuck?
Same. I loved it immediately as soon as I moved here, and I first moved here in 2004, straight out of high school, and I just absolutely loved it. Came here to UNT to do my business degree. Didn't do so well at UNT. Ended up going to NCTC for a while. Got pregnant, had a kid, moved to Fort Worth for a while, but then moved back to Denton like a little over 3 years ago. And I loved it, and I've always been in and out of it. And it's just, I know people here from when I lived here the first time still. Like, it's such a great place to live, and there's such a great community here.
Yeah,
it's like a little blue little oasis in the middle of a bunch of red fucking bullshit, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, like, you pretty much have to drive 30 to 45 minutes in any direction outside.
Yeah, and it's like fucking shit kickers, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
Otherwise, it's just suburbs or country land,
Yeah. It was like closet racist with the fucking like the Trump Pence fucking signs and shit in their goddamn yard. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, so weird.
Yeah, it didn't really help me open up a lot and be more what I think is myself, because I was really weird in high school and like kind of a goth kid and didn't have a whole lot of friends and like dressed weird or whatever.
Then you could have Denton. Everybody's that kid.
I came to Denton and I started like getting all these guys hitting on me all the time and telling me how pretty I was and telling me I dressed cool, and I was like, what the hell? Because like this has never happened to me before. And I was like, okay, like I like this place.
Yeah.
It gave me a lot of confidence to live here, and it made me pursue more of what I actually wanted.
I never thought
to do
about it from
life.
the female aspect of it, because. And
as far as the country accent, guys actually like that. So I mean,
oh no, your country accent turns me the fuck on. Sorry, Brad, but
you've definitely told me, so it's okay.
Dude, I mean, I just imagine, like, could you like show me your wiener? I don't know, like.
Hey Richard, can I see your wiener?
That's so good, dude.
Well, when did you join the band, Allie? I was gonna actually.
What I guess
I didn't know that you played trumpet.
I guess it's been a little over 2 years now that I've been in the Beasties.
Oh,
but I played trumpet in high school, and I was always really good at that. But then like I said, I had a kid and all this stuff. I didn't play trumpet for like 10 years, so I picked it back up. And actually, Brett really encouraged me to do that, and we started a Disney band together. And then after we
it was pretty awesome actually.
So we still have that in the works. We just have been on kind of like not doing it because of everything. And but yeah, we have a Disney band where we dress up in full cosplay and do Disney songs.
Oh,
and,
you know what? I remember you telling me that at work.
And we're called the Vault, but we haven't performed in a while. It's been a minute. But then Brett joined We Beasties, and he taught. And I've known Richard for a little over 3 years now. I met him at the bar originally, and just became friends with him there, and then.
I first started playing with Richard because we put together a 80s punk tribute night in 2018.
We did the
we did a Black Flag tribute show.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So he started playing with the Beasties, and then I was like, he was like, let Allie play. She plays trumpet and can sing, and I was like, cool, let's do it.
Because we were looking for.
We played the following February in 2019 at J&J's, and we were in the back, and Richard said, "You should play trumpet for us."
Oh, did I say that?
Oh yeah.
I just remember, I remember you saying, because, I mean, that was the thing, is Tomo had been just our, dude for, ever, and,
Well, I was telling you that.
We had such, dude, I mean, honestly, by this point, every fucking show that we had played, it was, almost a different lineup, with the exception, 3 or 4 fucking people. And I was getting so sick of just subbing shit out, because, you'd get somebody who could, I could do, these 2 shows, but I can't do anything else, or, I can do this. And I was like, God damn, we need somebody steady. And I remember Brett being like, dude, fucking Allie plays trumpet. And I was like, really?
Right.
I was like, holy fucking shit. Well, if Allie plays, then you're definitely going to be at band practice, and she'll be there too. It was like a package deal, So I was like, well, fuck, that makes fucking sense. And it turns out she actually could play. And then the other thing too is you're fucking. She had great stage. She had great. Immediately noticed that she had great stage presence, and I was like, damn, I'm gonna give her singing parts in different stuff, here and there, So I mean that helped for me too, because it was I like having somebody who can hold their own on the fucking. I mean,
on their instrument and
on their instrument, but it doesn't matter who it is, but when somebody grabs a microphone in their hand and they have that you know what I mean? That intangible,
that just energy.
I know that you're gonna be fucking. You know what I mean? I know I want to look at you do that just because, just the way you walk or the way you hold your shit or just whatever the fuck it is, and she has it.
Thanks, Richard.
And so I was like, fuck, dude, this would be cool. This would be great,
I definitely have a lot of fun in this band. It makes me feel so free and released to even play with you guys.
Oh,
it really does,
dude.
It gives me more energy just to release my energy.
Yeah, no shit. And that's the thing too, man, is the more you give to the crowd, the more the crowd gives back to you, and then the more you can give back to them. You know what I mean? And so it's a cyclical thing.
Yeah.
So you really have to and you have to initiate it. Yeah. Sometimes the crowd initiates it though, which is fucking the second,
they come to our
the second you walk in, they're frothing at the mouth, and you're like, all right,
I'm feeling low energy, but the crowd is way hot, so here we go.
I know how this is gonna go. Yeah. And that's the other thing too is one of the things that I really, really, really do love about this band is that and everybody I can say this about everybody in the band, if there's 20 people, if it's some rinky-dink fucking bullshit show out in the middle of fucking nowhere and there's 20 people there, or if we're fucking playing some giant fucking place and there's fucking several hundred or 1,000 or more people there, it's the fucking same energy. You know what I mean?
That's what I noticed whenever we played with you guys at that.
There was hardly
fest.
It was so hot, dude. It was.
Oh my god, it was.
Everyone was miserable being outside, and it was well, guess take my clothes off.
I remember whenever you did it too. I looked around, and there were a few that just preppy nice girls with their bitch beers, and and then you took off your clothes, and they were like,
"What is happening?
Can he do that?"
I hope his mic cable isn't that long. I always feel like a fucking like a dog that's trying to bark at somebody that's just only got that much chain. The worst thing you can do is give me a fucking. The worst thing you can possibly do is give me a wireless mic. That's the worst thing you could possibly do.
It goes out in the middle of the street.
That's probably a problem. Yeah.
Well, it's good to have me on stage to keep that presence, because when you are out in the crowd and the stage is up high, you literally go down off the stage and dance around with the crowd, which is awesome and gets them hot. But
yeah, I've learned recently that I need to not start on the ground.
No,
I need to get there because sometimes I'm just like ready for war. Like the second I get there, you know, I'm like, it's like no, you got to ease them into it. Like, you know, like slipping into a warm bath.
So you guys were mentioning earlier about some new songs. So have you already started to record some of these, or
just working on them with the group first to get it under the fingers?
Yeah, we have
into the studio.
We have sponsorship for the recording, so we're like ready to do it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we have a private recording studio that's like totally letting us just have fucking the run of the place.
Wow!
Since the beginning of we were working on it at the beginning of the year, but ever since the beginning of the pandemic, we haven't been able to.
Yeah, and man, dude, this pandemic's just been so frustrating, dude. Just like
I feel that
for all of us, just because it's like
we had some studio time planned, and it just kind of
Dude, I mean, it was just like
I was actually trying to move to Austin before all of this went down, and then whenever all of this went down, I was like, well, I guess I'm stuck here, so it looks like I'll be here at least another year.
Shit, dude. Yeah,
so, maybe it was supposed to happen, you know.
Remember Tristan Thorndike was supposed to be moving.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You're not the only one. Our friend Tristan, who's also a local musician.
They were like literally moving to Vegas that week, and then everything got shut down.
Who's also a performer.
And Vegas was like one of the first things that like went down.
Yeah, that's what fucked them up, because they were like,
yeah, they were like, I guess we're not leaving. And they had bought that bus or van or whatever, redone the whole thing, and his wife is like a performer too. She's a dancer and stuff, and does like burlesque and different things, and they're a pretty good duo, you know. But yeah, their plans got cut too.
Yeah, they're like, well, I guess we won't. Yeah, he's in my other band, Tony and the Hardings.
Oh yeah. I was actually going to ask you, don't you have like an acoustic thing?
I do an acoustic thing. I have 3 bands, and I do the acoustic thing.
Oh, okay.
You play guitar.
When did you start doing the acoustic thing?
Dude, you know, that's actually, I've only been doing that for like really like a few years. You know, it's so weird because it's like, I mean, check this shit out. I have no problem going on stage like bare ass naked, you know, and like breaking glass and rolling in it, and like, you know, but I got my boys, you know, behind me, you know. But it's like the most nerve-wracking thing that I ever did on stage was the first like couple times I did the acoustic deal, because it's like it's just you know. It's like because I was writing all these songs that were like real like soft kinds of like things, and like I couldn't use them for Beasties, you know, and I couldn't use them for In My Graves, and like, you know, I couldn't, you know, I just didn't know what to do with them, and so, but occasionally I'd like be like at a, you know, like a little party or something. I don't want to be that fucking guy with the acoustic guitar at the party, but occasionally, you get
when it starts to die down a little bit.
Dude, Richard, play a song.
Yeah, you get goaded into doing it, you know, and then like you'll play something, and they're like, "Fuck, dude!" Like I didn't even. You know, I remember the first few times I did it too. Like, if I'd advertise it, motherfuckers in like mohawks and shit would like show up, thinking it was gonna be like a fucking punk show or something, you know, and it was like. No, it's just this other thing, and it'd be like, you just see them like just super sad, like crush their beer, like and leave. Like, but like occasionally some people would listen, and they'd be like, "Fuck, dude, that's not the worst thing I ever heard." You know, you know. So yeah, I mean, I kind of got into that, and then I was recording when I was on the run from the law. You know, I was this dude Diggo, who actually lives maybe 10 blocks from here. He had like a little studio like in his backyard, like this little guest house thing, and he was like, "Dude, you know you're about to go to prison, like let's just record every acoustic song that you have." And I mean, it was like 20 or 30 of them, and like he put it out, like he had that Real Rad label. Him and Todd Little had that Real Rad label, and like they like put it out while I was in prison, like all the proceeds they just stick it on my fucking books. I couldn't believe I was like selling records and shit. I'm fucking sitting in prison and I'm putting records out. You know, I couldn't believe it, you know. So I kind of, once I got out, I was like, well, maybe I'll do some of those. But it's weird just because, I mean, I do have the We Beasties reputation. The thing is, like, people
think that that's who you are.
Well, people see that, yeah, exactly. People will see that character that I am on stage, and then they'll think, like, yeah, that's who I am, and so then they won't want to.
Then when they come up and talk to you at a show, they talk to you to that character, not
dude.
To
I mean, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I got booked to play a fucking acoustic show last year over at Jan J's, and I was kind of tripped out because it was playing acoustic, and then like I showed up and I went to go talk to the sound guy, and I was like, hey, you know, I have this acoustic and it doesn't plug in, so I'm going to need to have it mic'd, and I'll need a vocal mic, of course, but you know, you don't really need to give me much like on the, you know, through the monitors, because I play really quiet, so there's sometimes a problem with feedback. So maybe don't worry too much about that. I'll just, you know, I'll take care of it. Just make sure like it's in the. And he like didn't say anything to me, just like stared at me, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, who the fuck is this sound guy, you know? So like, then like, you know, there's like 2 or 3 people that play before me, and then like I'm about to go out, and Andy, the kitchen manager, like from there, like came downstairs and was like asking me like all these questions about like what I needed, and I was like, why the fuck are you, like, why are you asking me this shit? And she was like, our sound guy's terrified to talk to you. And I was like, what? She was like, I tried to tell him, he thinks that you're like, he's seen your band, he thinks that you're like that guy,
aggressive,
that you're gonna like start fucking freaking out and breaking shit, like. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I couldn't believe it, you know. But I mean, that's how people will treat it, though, you know. So like, it takes you, you know.
If you're not, I feel like if you're not like naturally a creative spirit, that's kind of like where your mind goes.
I mean, I get it,
but like someone who you know gets it, knows that it's just
like, you think I just walk around in underwear just breaking shit, like that's how I live my fucking life, like.
Only a little bit.
I was like, yeah. So I mean, I'll be at a party sometime, and the house owner would be like, "Hey, are you cool, man?" Like, dude.
Wasn't there a guy who fronted a punk band in the '80s who was like a professor at Stanford or some shit?
I think Milo from he went to college. Milo from the Descendants.
Yeah, the Descendants.
He went and got like a doctorate or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, but then you got like, which I mean, I understand, especially with like the shit with like, because I get compared to G.G. Allen a lot, which. It's so bizarre to me, because I'm like I don't shit on stage or rape people, like, you know. I was like, what? No, like, you know, it's like I'm like between that. You know what I mean? Like,
there's a spectrum.
It's all on a spectrum.
I'm not quite gamma rated.
It's probably just because you take off your shirt and you're a big guy.
That
might be it.
But you like pour beer all over yourself in the crowd.
Plus, like, I'll yell and scream at people and stuff. But that's an act, though. You know, it's just like, it's just to kind of get the fucking. It would be like if you walked up to fucking like you know, who's the dude who plays Hannibal Lecter?
Anthony
Hopkins. It'd be like if you walked up to Anthony Hopkins and you thought that he really ate people, and you were just totally freaked out, and you're like, no, that's this character that I play in this thing. You know what I mean? Like,
I've done other movies, right?
Yeah. I was in Jaws 3, by the way.
Do you see a shark?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's weird for me, and also too, like, you know, so many more people will recognize you from something than you'll recognize them.
Yeah, that happens.
Right? So so be like, hey, you know, like,
I always feel bad because like I know I met them, but I don't remember their name.
Yeah, exactly. You know? But then even worse than that, if they have that image in their head of you. And then so like there's been times where like I'll walk into a bar and there's like people that are afraid.
It's kind of an isolating experience a little bit. Because it's like, I'm just a person.
You're like,
as we're walking into a room and everybody's like, oh,
like, you know why I do that? Because people pay to fucking see it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
Oh well, it's a thing.
It is a thing.
It's just performance.
So I mean, the acoustic thing. Long story short, I don't. It's hard to book that. Because people think
They
it's
don't know
gonna
what
be-
they're getting.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you're like, I'm going to book Chris Barnes from Cannibal Corpse to come do this acoustic show. You know, you'd
They
be
play
like,
some like sad songs.
yeah,
You're
you're
like, damn, dude.
here's a song about this terrible dating experience I had. you're like, wait, this is Cannibal Corpse? I don't get it. Yeah,
Totally.
I get it, but the same. I remember I fucking tried to get. First time I got booked at fucking Backyard on Bell. Remember when that fucking venue was around?
yeah.
They booked me. The show was booked for like 2 months. Then like seriously, like the day before, the fucking booker like, hey Richard, I'm sorry, we've had to cancel your performance, like and replace you with somebody else. I was like, why? They were like, you're just too darn aggressive. And I was like, can I show you my set list? I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, and it was the owner said like they thought that I was like just
gonna wreck shit.
Yeah, you know, and I was like, no, like, you know, it's not like that at all. You know? But you know, it took some convincing. You know.
Yeah, had to break. You just kind of have to do it a little bit more. Maybe this podcast will help it a little bit. I mean,
Yeah, no shit. This has been a chill fucking talk, man. It's fucking just. I don't even feel like I'm being.
Yeah, we're just
shooting the shit. You know, it's cool. Like it's awesome.
Well, cool. Thanks for coming on. I guess this is a good spot to end.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, whenever all this shit dies down, we can see another Wee Beasties show.
I'm contractually obligated to plug a couple businesses. Omaha Steaks. Lumber Liquidators.
Bass Pro Shop.
Bass Pro Shop. Cabela's.
Yeah, Cabela's.
Fucking Cabela's. Oh, God. All right.
That's where I bought my first pistol. Not let it have one anymore.
Oh, that's funny. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Check out Wee Beasties and Putty Tang and Star Party, and check out Allie, Brett, and
Tanya and the Hardings.
Richard. Tanya and the Hardings.
On Mark Graves.
On Mark Graves.
And my non-aggressive acoustic shows.
Yes. Richard's non-aggressive.
If and when it
Brett
happens.
Crow Show. That's a great
That's
one.
my solo stuff.
Oh, you have a solo thing too?
He does everything.
Yeah.
They don't pin all that shit on him like they do me. They just know he's
I'll
good.
send you a link.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.